Jose Bautista and Raul Chavez. So what was a key for Roy Halladay, I think, in last night's ball game against this Baltimore team, keeping the leadoff batter off base, and he did that against Brian Roberts.
Certainly did. Roberts went 0 for 5 and was not a factor offensively.
Snapped a 6-game hitting streak.
First pitch in the books for Robert Ray here in the big leagues. And it's ball 1 to Brian Roberts, who just happens to be playing in his 1,000th game this afternoon in Toronto. Raul Chavez takes strike 1. Rod Barajas was telling us yesterday the best thing you can do with a rookie debut is to let that pitcher know to just go out and have some fun.
Well, it probably also helps that Chavez caught him in the minor leagues for that one start. He's had a crazy year this year, hasn't he, Robert Ray?
Boy, he certainly has.
We're just a month into the season, and he's been all over the place.
Gets a pop-up here of Roberts. In comes Scutaro. Out goes Brian Roberts. And there's the first out for Ray, and a good man to retire, too.
Well, we talked about how it's been crazy for him. He actually hurt his oblique side in spring training. The same muscle that Ricky Romero hurt and put himself on the disabled list.
There's Robert Sr., his wife Liz, and Robert Jr.'s fiancee Lisa, who made the trip in from Lufkin, Texas.
I'll guarantee you his father is more nervous than the son.
Yeah.
Guarantee you. Because as a pitcher, look at him. He's sitting there, no big deal, whatever. But I'll tell you, as a father, as you watch your kids play, I mean, there's nothing you can do. It's just sit there.
Here's a fly toward right field. Well hit by Jones over toward the corner, and it's out of play. So Dad can feel a little easy now.
You know, when you're playing, you're out there, you're concentrating, you're competing, you're thinking about what you have to do, and you're doing your job. As a parent, as you just sit in the stands, all you can do is just hope for the best, right?
Just sit and be uneasy.
Yeah. But what a exciting time for his family.
Adam Jones, the center fielder, who had a pair of hits last night. 0-2 pitch way up high, 1-2. In fact, Jones this year has 11 multi-hit games, hitting .361. And he yanks that ball to left field, and you can kiss that one goodbye. Welcome to the big leagues, Mr. Ray. He's just given up a home run to Adam Jones.
Well, you mentioned the batting average by Adam Jones against right-handers, hitting about .370 now. And he has really become one of the better players in the American League so far this year. He's got bat speed, he can throw, he can field, he can run. This is a hanging breaking ball right in the wheelhouse of Adam Jones, and he doesn't miss it. He's got a quick bat. And that time it was sped up from the breaking ball. Home run for Jones.
Certainly not what Robert Sr. wanted to see, as Nick Markakis steps in. Although if we're searching for positives, there was nobody on base.
Yeah. Yeah, keep that Brian Roberts off base and you'll be fine.
Now here's Nick Markakis, and he's on a tear, a .379 average. He has hit safely in 17 consecutive games. The current leader among active players is Ryan Zimmerman of the Washington Nationals. He's got a 20-game streak going.
17 is very good for Markakis, but it's not the best in the American League. Robbie Cano of the Yankees has an 18-gamer.
Well, Ray has thrown 3 balls here to Markakis, perhaps a little rattled by the home run by Jones.
See, that's where you got to stay within yourself and remain positive. And I think that's the trouble with young players, is they aren't as familiar with themselves as a veteran player. So as a hitter, when you kind of feel yourself out of sync, you know what you have to do to get yourself back into a good groove. Same thing with a pitcher. You get a good release point, You feel good. Young players, they really don't know how to get back into it when they lose it.
Here's Aubrey Huff now, and a strike thrown. Markakis the lead at first base. The 0-1 pitch is popped into the air near third. Bautista playing in place of Scott Rowland today puts it away. So there's the second out.
He showed good command last season at AA. Sam kind of talked a little bit about him in the opening, about where he has gone and how he has made his way through the farm system. Last year, he finally had a good year at AA. This year, just 3 base on balls in his starts. We were talking to Cito yesterday about him, asking him, Cito, about young Robert Ray, and he says, you know, he likes to work quickly. All the reports that we have are that he throws strikes and he's around the plate, something that they were talking about was missing with David Percy when he was out there.
Melvin Morris steps in, hitting .308. He's had some time on the disabled list because of a bum hamstring. 2 gone, man at first, and a tentative throw over from Ray. On the ground, taken by Overbay, and he goes back to first with Ray covering, and they get Mora. Lyle had nobody to throw to at second, so he turns around, and luckily the pitcher was covering. Two inexperienced pitchers go today, including Brad Bergeson, who pitches in just his 3rd major league game for the Orioles. He'll face the Blue Jays lineup, very strong at the top of the order with Scutaro and Hill. Slight changes have Jose Bautista playing 3rd. That gives Scott Rowland a break, and Bautista bats 6th today. Raul Chavez, as you saw, is in the lineup as well, hitting 8th. Here's Scutaro facing Brad Bergeson, who got off to a good major league start, winning his first game.
Yeah, he won that big league debut just about 11 days ago. That was against the Chicago White Sox. But he has struggled his next time out last Sunday against Texas.
Fouled back by Scutaro, 2-2. Bergeson stands 6'2", weighs 215. He's just 23 and comes from Fairfield, California. 4th round pick in 2004. Works very quickly. And the Orioles are raving about the good sinker that this guy can throw. You see it there. It's grounded over to Esturras at short.
Well, you'll see a lot of that if he's got that good sinker in on the right-hander to the arm side. That game against Texas that we were just talking about, he gave up 5 runs and 10 hits and was really hurt by the long ball, giving up 3 home runs in his 4+ innings of work. But he really opened up some eyes in the Orioles organization with the spring that he had. 11 innings pitched, 11 strikeouts, and 3 starts. Just 1 base on balls. Wore number 64 in spring training. It worked nicely for him there, so he hasn't changed when he came to the big leagues.
No need to make that change. Here's number 2, Aaron Hill. And it's fouled away. 0-2 on Aaron, whose 41 hits leads the major leagues. And leads all big league number 2 hitters with 5 home runs and 20 RBIs.
Those 20 RBIs tied for 8th in the American League. Tied with some big RBI guys, Jason Bay and Aubrey Huff.
A grounder to third. Wild hop near the end there, but Mora plays it beautifully, and Hill's gone.
Airless baseball last night for the Baltimore Orioles. Here's how they'll stack up this afternoon. Montanez, Jones, and Markakis in the outfield. Esturras and Roberts very quick around the bag up the middle. Melvin Moore and Aubrey Huff on the corners for the Orioles, and Greg Zahn. We saw him last night catch, and day game after a night game for the veteran.
2 for 4 last night. He sets up outside. The pitch is way out there. And it's 1-0 to Alex Rios. Alex still sitting on 1 home run. He grounds that shot to third, backhanded by Mora. Here's the long throw, and he gets him. 1-2-3 for Bergeson. 1 inning complete. Back comes Robert Ray to face the Orioles. Game live on your computer with MLB.tv, the ultimate baseball experience featuring 100 out-of-market games every week. For information, visit BlueJays.com, where baseball is always on. What a great way to keep track of teams outside of Toronto with MLB.tv. Here are the new look Orioles. They've got that Baltimore emblazoned across the chest this year as opposed to the nickname Orioles.
That's how I remember the Baltimore Orioles. That big Baltimore across the front of their chest. Frank Robinson and Lou Powell, those great teams in the 60s and 70s.
66 World Series winners over the Dodgers. Wore uniforms very similar to those. The man blowing the bubbles there has the home run. It's 1-0. Adam Jones hit one out to left field as Robert Ray goes back to work against first Luke Scott, the DH, Lou Montañez, the left fielder, and Greg Zahn, the catcher. 2-1 for Ray. He adjusts his grip. And that pitch is laced to left field, but right at Snyder. So Scott is gone. They had some good teams in the 70s. Pretty good teams in the 80s. A World Series winner in '83.
It's been a dry decade.
Yep.
For Baltimore in the new millennium. They had some good teams in the 90s, the teams that Pat Gillick built when he went down there. I think they came within a Jeffrey Mayer home run where he caught the home run.
That's right.
From going to the World Series. That ball was hit by Derek Jeter in the old Yankee Stadium. But if this team comes back, they were always built on power, good defense, and the 3-run homer. I think they've got the 3-run homer down. They've got enough guys who can power the ball out of the ballpark. It's their pitching staff where they have struggled. Last couple of years they have struggled throwing strikes. They're a little bit better this year.
1-2. Gone are the days of Palmer, Cuellar, McNally, and Dobson. At one time the Orioles had 4 20-game winners in the rotation. My, how things have changed. Here's the 1-2 offering from Ray, and it's slashed to right field and out of play. You know, it's an organization that keeps waiting for the good young pitchers to come. They feel they have a decent one in Bergeson, who starts today. Brian Matuz, a left-hander who we spoke of yesterday.
Yeah, he is in A ball, and he might be here next year.
Little roller up the middle, charged by Scutaro. He picks it off the turf and throws out Montañez. Robert Ray happy to have some good defenders behind him.
Yeah, he was jammed, Montañez, the hitter, by that pitch. Kind of fooled a little bit by the speed, and so it wasn't hit very hard. But it's the transfer in the quick throw with something on it by Scutaro to get the runner at first base. Watch how he goes over there, gets the ball in the air, and then all in one motion is able to get that ball over there quickly for the second out. I think Montañez kind of had trouble getting out of the box because he was jammed on that ball.
Here's Zahn now, wearing that big orange Barry Bonds-like elbow pad on his right arm. Had a 2-hit game last night and skies this ball into left field. Playable for Travis Snyder. And Robert Ray, after giving up a home run in the first, gets a 1-2-3 second inning. Back come the Blue Jays with Wells to lead it off after this. Is May the 16th, 2 weeks from today. The White Sox are here. Come down early. All kinds of things go on outside Rogers Center. If you take part in the Passport program and collect 3 stamps on your passport, kids 14 and under receive a miniature Adam Lynn bobblehead doll. So 416-341-1234, the number to call for tickets. Vernon Wells slaps it into center field, and that skips past Adam Jones. Wells turns for second, and now it's bobbled by Markakis. Here comes Vernon for third, and he's there easily. How to turn a one-bagger into a 3. We just witnessed it.
Yeah, if you're the center fielder or an outfielder and a ball's hit like that, the first batter, you have to be 100% sure that you're going to make this play. Ball wasn't hit very hard by Wells. He is actually jammed on this backup slider. And here comes Adam Jones, the center fielder. He thinks he's got a beat on it right here, but it hits that turf and bounces away. When Markakis alertly backs up the play, he kind of drops the ball. So we'll see how it's scored. I think it's going to be a double and possibly an error on Markakis. Because it looked like, excuse me, Jamie, that Wells was slowing down and was conceding second base.
More importantly, a chance for the Blue Jays to tie the ball game.
We get the official word now. That is a triple. No error. Oh, wait a minute.
Change in scoring.
Was I right? Okay.
So it's a double then. Scored a double. And the error allows Vernon to advance to third. 1-1 on Adam Lind.
Well, anyway, you'll take it as a Blue Jay fan. What looked like a harmless single to center field. Really, I didn't think Jones had a play on that ball. Vernon Wells goes all the way to third base with nobody out.
There's a ground ball to Roberts. That brings home the run. And the Blue Jays have tied it thanks to Adam Lind.
Take advantage of what the opposition will give you. Wells makes it all the way to third base, and then it's an easy AB for Adam Lind, his 23rd RBI.
And he's in the top 5 in the American League now.
That breaks a tie.
So Jose Bautista now with one away here. That is one thing the Blue Jays have done beautifully all year, is they have taken advantage of the other team's mistakes. When you hand them outs, they usually take full advantage of the situation.
Or if you start walking guys, you know, they've done a good job of working the pitcher. They've done a good job of hitting with runners in scoring position. But you're right, if you make a mistake, while the Blue Jays have been running the bases aggressively, they've taken advantage of the mistakes of the defense.
Marco Scutaro, who has walked 23 times this year, has scored 24 runs. Here it's a 2-2 count on Bautista, and he laces the ball into the stands. So Bautista gives Scott Rowland a day off, despite the fact Rowland has an 8-game hit streak going. And the Blue Jays, as we saw in the month of April, have the luxury of going to people like Bautista and getting production. There's a base hit to right field. Case in point. And now Bautista, oh, he puts on the brakes wisely. As Markakis brings it in, you could see Bautista was thinking double.
Yeah, 18 outfield assists last year for Nick Markakis, which was the most in the American Leagues. 3 already this year, which ties with Adam Jones and Vernon Wells for outfield assists already. Off the bat, this looked like a double. And Bautista was thinking double as that ball slicing away from Markakis. And remember, he's a left-handed thrower, so he has to get over there, backhand the ball, come up cleanly. But as a runner, the play is right in front of you. Do not run into an out.
Next man up is Lyle Overbay. The pitch away from him, 1-0. And this is typical Cito Gaston, even though Kevin Millar had 2 hits and 3 RBIs in the game last night. Right-hander on the mound. We go back to Overbay at first.
That's happened a couple of times to Lyle this year. Hit a couple of home runs. And found himself on the bench the next day when the lefty was starting. But hey, whatever works. Millar had a big game last night. Chance now for Lyle to have a big game.
Let's get a word now from Sam Cosentino. Sam?
Well, Jamie, Pat, I think the other thing you have to realize is that Cito Gaston's also managing time. Another day game tomorrow, a night game Monday, and then a day game before going west on Tuesday afternoon. So keeping that in mind, giving his regular guys some time to get some rest in anticipation of a busy schedule here over the next week.
No question about that. And then a travel day after the day game Tuesday into Anaheim for a 2-game series with the Angels. And Cito's good at that, sort of massaging the lineup to get the most production. And even guys like Lyle Overbay, who recently told us, I have no problem sitting out days when there are lefties on the mound because we're winning. Everything seems to be working right now. I'm not going to gripe about a lack of playing time.
You know what else Cito does is he finds some rest in blowout games. Either way, winning or losing, he'll find some 3 or 4 innings for Vernon Wells to take some time off, or Alex Rios, or Aaron Hill, guys who play every inning of every game. Marco Scudero, and I think that's why it's so important to have a good bench, good veteran guys who understand that role and can do well in that role. We've seen that this year with some of the guys who have come off the bench for the Blue Jays.
1 strike to Raul Chavez. And now 2. Chavez is filling in for the injured Michael Barrett. He went 2 for 4 Thursday in Kansas City. And today makes his 4th start behind home plate. The Blue Jays are 1-2 in his 3 prior starts. There's Barrett talking with Roy Halladay, who suffered that nasty injury when he fell on one of the batting weights in the on-deck circle in the last homestand. There's Bautista up at second. Lyle Overbay stands at first. Tied at 1 in the 2nd inning. And 2 strikes on Chavez. Bergeson now sets at the letters. And the pitch is off the plate.
You know, if you were attacking a pitcher like Brad Bergeson, I think you have to look inside or outside. If it's inside, it's probably going to be a sinker if you're a right-handed batter. If it's outside, it's probably going to be a slider. So as a hitter, you can go up there and look for one location, and you know what pitch you're going to get. Or you can look for a certain pitch in a certain location. It's going to work.
There's a base hit for Chavez. Hustling around third is Bautista. Here's the throw in, and he's safe. He avoids the tag of Zahn, and the Blue Jays lead.
Boy, does he ever avoid the tag. We've seen it for a few years with Greg Zahn at the plate, blocking the plate. He does such a good job. He's fearless back there. He sticks that leg out, that left leg, and anchors that plate, making you go around. And watch how he does it right there. Bautista with a tricky slide, head first, and now watch him just get his hand in there in the back door. Great slide. Markakis with an accurate arm. Good all the way throw, and there's a great shot right there. Bautista scoring.
Chavez picks up his 2nd run driven in from on high. There's the hand. There's the run. And there's the 2-1 lead. Now here's Travis Snider with a chance to do further damage. 2 balls and no strikes as he faces Bergeson. And for Travis in the last little while, as the pitching coach for the Orioles comes out for a word, it's been a lot of singles for Snider. The last extra base hit for young Travis was April 21st here at Rogers Center against Texas. I wonder, Pat, are some of these big league pitchers, thanks to video and everything else, starting to adjust?
Yeah, and scouting. They send advanced guys out here, and Travis has talked about how he feels like the pitchers are pitching him a little bit differently. A lot more breaking balls. They're trying to crowd him with fastballs and trying to get fastballs up in the strike zone. If he can lay off of those, I think he'll be fine. Early this season, he's hitting a lot of fastballs for home runs. He's in a fastball count here.
Certainly is. Here's the 2-0. And it misses off the plate. 3-0. We go down again to Sam Cosentino.
Well, Jamie, the career path between Ray and Bergeson pretty similar. Bergeson hurt in 06 and 07, started in A-ball last year, moved up to Double-A with Bowie, and was the Double-A Eastern League Pitcher of the Year last year.
In fact, he was the Orioles Organizational Pitcher of the Year, winning the Jim Palmer Award after a very good year on 2 levels. Facing Travis Snyder, 3-1. Pitch is on the way, and it's golfed to the right side. Roberts turns for second. They get the force there. And Snyder's on with the fielder's choice. 2 gone.
Well, it looked like it was a good pitch to hit, and he just missed holding it in that hole for a base hit. You'll get a lot of ground ball outs when Bergeson is throwing that sinker like that. That one right down under the back.
Over to third goes Overbay. Here's Marco Scutaro again. Second time through the order now for the Blue Jays. Scutaro has reached base in 23 of the 25 games played this year. He's done a marvelous job up at the top of the order, and there's a base hit that brings home Overbay. Now 3-1 Toronto.
And the on-base percentage keeps climbing for Marco Scutaro. Waiting for a pitch in the strike zone, and this one right there. Wanted to get that sinker in and under the hands, and it ended up being right over the middle of the plate. A 2-out base hit. When I watched Brad Bergeson in his major league debut, he was very confident. His body language told me, like, hey, you know, I belong here. But today, right now, he looks a little rattled. Really not a strikeout pitcher. It looks like he's not commanding his pitches like he did in that first game.
Strike 1 on Aaron Hill, who grounded out to third in the first inning. Aaron has 13 multi-hit games this year. 13 of them. That leads the American League.
I think it leads the major leagues too.
Yes, in fact it does. Shall we say he's second to none at this point?
Most hits through 25 games in Blue Jay history. Robbie Alomar, another second baseman on that list. All of those guys on that list ended up with fantastic years. That was Vernon Wells' big year, wasn't it, in 2001?
2003?
2003?
Was it 01 or 03?
And then the Olerud 93 season was ridiculous. 360 something.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. And it's 2-2 on Aaron. And despite all the hits, he doesn't even have the team record for hits in the month of April. He fell 1 short and has 41 now because he had 3 in yesterday's game, May the 1st. Here he awaits the 2-2 from Brad Bergeson. 3-1 Toronto. Bottom of the second inning. Little roller out towards short. The bat is shattered. Hill is gone. And 2 are left, but the Blue Jays score 3 times. And after 2 innings of play, it's Toronto 3, the Orioles 1. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sportsnet. chairs courtesy of TD Canada Trust. The Katerina family, guests of the Sick Kids Foundation. Their daughter Danielle passed away last June at the age of 16 from complications following a double lung transplant. And so they are guests today of the Sick Kids Foundation, the hospital for sick children in Toronto. Here it's a 3-1 lead for the Blue Jays in game 2 of this series. This is Jamie Campbell with Pat Tabler and Sam Cosentino. Cesar Izturis is the man at the plate. Once wore the uniform here. Facing Robert Ray in his major league debut. Izturis flies to left. There's Snyder. And so Ray has now retired 6 straight since walking Markakis immediately following Adam Jones' home run.
Yeah, a couple of fly balls, a couple of ground ball outs. Blue Jays starting pitchers major league debut since 2008. Today will be number 5 already since last season. Ricky Romero was this year against the Tigers. We saw Scott Richmond last year against the Rays. David Percy also made his major league debut against the Tigers. You mentioned the Jesse Litch win. He was the only one. Well, excuse me, Romero got a win also. 2 wins. So 5 pitchers, starting pitchers, making their major league debut since last season.
And with respect to Romero, there is excellent news. He threw today and will make a rehab start in the Florida State League on Thursday, and perhaps one more on May the 12th. And we say perhaps, if the one on Thursday, May the 7th goes well, his next start, May 12th, might very well be here against the Yankees. And so J.P. Ricciardi was thrilled to know that Romero is close, Casey Jansen is close, and when Jansen comes back, he'll be in the rotation.
Ricky threw off the mound before today's ball game and looked fine. Had a talk with Cito Gaston, had a talk with George Poulos, the trainer. He looked good. I got a chance to watch just a few of the throws. He wasn't holding back at all. Said that he had a fine session. So that is certainly good news.
And so Robert Ray is well aware that he's not here for the long haul. And chances are Brett Cecil isn't either, as you look at Romero talking things over. This was earlier today, talking things over with Cito Gaston. The outing went well. Here's Ray walking Brian Roberts. So Roberts is on base for the first time in this series. With more on this, let's go down again to Sam.
Well, guys, we look at the Blue Jays coming back from the West Coast, and you look at that May 11th date, the off day. That's going to be key for the Blue Jays as to determine the rotation. It is expected, as you mentioned, that Jansen and Romero will both know exactly when they are going to pitch next from that date and where that will be. Is it here with the Blue Jays or is it in Dunedin? And then I think the other thing you have to consider is with Cecil and with Ray, hey, you go with the hot hand, and if these guys pitch well over the 2 starts, maybe they earn another start and another start after that.
True enough. As Adam Jones steps in, he homered last time up, and that May 12th date actually falls on Roy Halladay's start. That follows an off day as they travel from Oakland, so there's little question who gets the start in the opener against the Yankees. We'll see how it all falls together afterward. First pitch to Jones is slapped foul. Adam Jones absolutely crushed an offering from Ray in the first inning into the second level out and left.
Well, he's got such a quick bat. And you watch him take batting practice, and the ball just explodes off of his bat. When you watch him, and I was watching him yesterday and today, it looks a lot like Soriano, Alfonso Soriano, how fast the bat comes through. And he's got a quick one for the Cubs. This guy just keeps getting better and better and better.
He's got a man on first with 1 out. Ray runs the pitch inside. 1-1 now on Jones. And Jones is easily on pace to better his numbers of last year when he hit .270 with 9 home runs and 57 RBIs. He's already got 5 home runs this year and 19 runs driven in. And we're just 2 days into May. Here comes the 1-1. They pitch out. No go from Brian Roberts.
You know, we were talking a little bit about it in last night's game about hitting in the number 2 spot for Adam Jones. You got to figure he's going to get a lot of fastballs, especially when Brian Roberts is on base. But he has shown some patience at the plate. 9 walks while batting second this year. He had some time in the number 2 hole last year. He got into 25 games there. He only had 3 base on balls in those 25 games.
Yanked down the line, another hit for Jones. Snyder gets to it quickly. Roberts heading for third, and he is gone on arrival. Travis Snyder with a bullet.
That is an excellent play that can just pick up a pitcher. It looked dangerous. It looked like extra bases down the line, but he hustles over there and cuts it off and then throws a strike to third base to get a very fast Brian Roberts. He reads that play down the line, and he sees now that that ball's cut off by Snyder and there's going to be a play. But he gets over there, gets rid of it quickly, and you can't make a better throw than that.
There's a strike to Markakis. That was a Reed Johnson-like play. And with tons of time, too, all Bautista had to do was catch the ball and find the shoe.
Well, did you see the third baseman, Bautista, kind of set up for a play at the plate? Because he's the cutoff man. Man on first base, any extra base hit to left field, he's the cutoff man to the plate. And he was getting himself into position, but then read how Snyder got over there, cut the ball off, and now the play is going to be at third base. He had to hustle back over there.
So 2 gone. Jones moves up to second after a single to left field. Nick Markakis, who walked in the first inning with a 1-1 pitch from Ray. And now Ray steps off. Jones has taken a big lead out there at second.
Yeah, he certainly is. With 2 outs, he's got a very big lead. When a left-handed batter is at the plate, Marco Scudero is playing almost right behind Jones, the runner at second. He made a quick dash in for a pickoff attempt.
2-1. You know, you saw the replay of Roberts going first to second, and he wasn't going hard. If he's charging right out of the gate, he probably slides in safely, but he was trying to read the situation, was he not?
Well, it looked like a line drive, and he kind of froze just for a second at the beginning because he wasn't sure if it was going to get over Bautista's head. And then he had to kind of start the engines up again. And I wouldn't say he wasn't running hard. I think he just had to get it going again, and by the time he got it going and then kicked it into gear, it was too late then. Let's see if the defense can pay off for the Blue Jays, where the defense kind of let down the Orioles in the bottom of the inning. The defense might pick up the youngster here, Robert Ray. Got to make a pitch here, though, to Markakis.
And it's outside. Ball 4 to Markakis. So he loses the number 3 hitter for the second time. And we'll face Aubrey Huff again. You certainly cannot underestimate the importance of defense in this game, and Toronto has the best fielding percentage of any American League team, tied with the Minnesota Twins.
Twins have a couple of errors fewer than the Blue Jays, but the percentages are the same.
Runners at first and second and 2 away, and Huff drills the ball in the air to right field. Well hit toward the wall, and it's off the base of the wall, played by Wells. Jones is in to score. Markakis comes in 2, and this game is tied at 3.
Well, they are so dangerous at the top of the lineup. And a big RBI man and Aubrey Huff. Nowhere to put him on the bases. He's going to try and get ahead with a sinker and away. And this one is right down the middle. Thinks he has all of it. Thinks it's a home run, but look where it hits off the wall. Looked like it hit about not even halfway up the wall.
So back come the Orioles with a pair. And now Melvin Mora with a chance to give them the lead. He's got Huff at second base. It's a battle of young pitchers today. Brad Bergeson for the Orioles has given up 3 runs on 4 hits. And now Ray gives up his 3rd run on 3 Baltimore hits. Little roller over towards Scudero. He makes the play and throws out Mora, but the damage is done by Aubrey Huff. His 2-run double ties it at 3. Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. To the last of the 3rd inning, Alex Rios leads off for the Blue Jays, tied at 3 now after 2 from Baltimore in the top of the inning. Rios responds this way, singling up the middle.
Well, that almost got the hand of Baltimore starting pitcher Brad Bergeson. Your natural reaction is to kind of reach out with your bare hand. And I think he thought otherwise after that ball was scorched by Rios. Watch this one. Line drive back. He's thinking about no. Protect that pitching hand.
And now Vernon Wells takes a strike. Remember Brian Tallett's first start against Texas when he took one off the hand from Ian Kinsler. It numbed his left hand so much he threw wildly to first base. He couldn't even feel the baseball, he said. Here's the 0-1. Now 0-2 on Vernon.
It's like he's sitting on a breaking ball. A couple of fastballs right down the middle. We saw that in last night's game with Adam Lind. Like he was looking for a couple of breaking balls late in the game with the runners on. They threw 2 fastballs for strikes, then a breaking ball, and he ripped it for a hit.
Rios was on the move. Base hit to left for Wells on 0-2. But it got to the left fielder so quickly, Rios can only pick up a base. So back-to-back singles here. A good way to start the last of the 3rd. And now Vernon is 2 for 2 this afternoon. Here comes Toronto's RBI man, Adam Lind. Has 1 today, and he leads the team with 23. You get the impression this might be a high-scoring game, Pat?
Yep, or, a battle of the bullpens as we get later into the game, one or the other. 2 bullpens that are very deep. Blue Jays didn't have to use too many yesterday, just Scott Downs, where Baltimore used 3.
Let's get another word from Sam.
Well, Jamie, Adam Lind sees 4.54 pitches per plate appearance. That's amongst the top 3 in the American League. And Pat, what that tells me is that he's going up there with a plan, either looking location or looking for a particular pitch.
Or looking for both. You know, we were talking earlier, Ferguson is either going to throw that sinker away or that breaking ball in. So as a hitter, if you look location, you can also look for a certain pitch. For Adam Lind, if it's something away, you got to think it's that sinking fastball. So you can sit on a pitch and a location. He did that in last night's game.
He's taking on 3-0.
For a guy who does not walk a lot of people, and that's Ferguson, doesn't walk a lot of people. That's the 4th 3-0 count already in this game.
Ground ball to first. Huff goes to second base. And back covering a 3-6-3 double play.
Well, one of the tougher double plays to turn in baseball. Especially look where Huff is playing. He's got to play deep to respect the power of Adam Lind. He makes a good throw to Historis. Now he's got to hustle over there. And anytime the first baseman can get back and make that play, you don't want that pitcher in on there. That's a foreign play to them. Nice job there by Aubrey Huff to turn a tough double play.
And doesn't it change the complexion of this inning for the Blue Jays, who were at one point one more ball away from loading up the bases with nobody out? Now it's a man in third, 2 out, and Jose Bautista 1 for 1.
They have to come up with another 2-out hit.
The Blue Jays got their 3rd run in the 2nd inning on a 2-out knock by Marco Scutaro. Bautista singled to right field and came around to score on Chavez's single. 2-0 pitch down low, now 3-0, and here we go again with Ferguson.
Not really a strikeout pitcher. Just about 5 strikeouts per 9 innings when he was in the minor leagues. And just over 1 walk per 9 innings when he was in the minor leagues. He pitched in 90 minor league games. That there is his 2nd base on balls this afternoon.
He's walked a pair today, as you say, and puts a right-hander on base with Lyle Overbay, a left-handed hitter coming up. And it was Overbay who drew the first walk against Ferguson last inning. Fast Facts are brought to you by Rogers High-Speed Internet, the fastest and most reliable, period. He's the 5th rookie to start for the Orioles in this building in their last 9 meetings.
Well, in the previous 8 games here at Rogers Center, 6 of them have been started by rookies for the Orioles. Radimus Liv, Garrett Olson, Chris Waters, Brian Bass. Orioles are 1-7 in their last 8 here in this building. Rookie pitchers have something to do with that.
0-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Foul tip into the glove of Zahn. And Ferguson gets out of it, leaving a couple on base. 3 innings complete here in Toronto. the Jays against them last year, and they had a much better time of it against these Orioles.
You play the teams within your division so many times, you become so familiar with them. Not surprised that they were 9-9 against the Red Sox and Yankees, because they know them pretty well inside and out. Plus, they had a great pitching staff last year.
So this has been a back and forth. Baltimore with the early lead. Toronto scored 3 times in the second. The Orioles got 2 back in the third, tied at 3. And we begin the 4th inning with Luke Scott, the designated hitter. Luke had 3 hits in last night's game that broke him out of a 1-for-16 stretch. And he faces Robert Ray, who makes his big league debut today. Called up after 1 outing with the AAA affiliate in Las Vegas.
Robert had that left oblique strain that he got in spring training, and he actually stayed in Florida after the team broke camp, the minor league team. So he pitched a little bit in extended spring training. The ball's on the ground to Lyle Overbay. Makes the play over to first base.
That's the same ailment that has put Ricky Romero on the DL. But in Ray's case, he says he kind of pitched through it. Made the 1 outing in Las Vegas, 1 outing in Single A. In fact, Romero himself first experienced the oblique strain just prior to his start in Minneapolis, and then came out and made his next start here against Oakland.
Did well.
Yeah, although he says he remembered a strikeout of Matt Holliday, and he felt as if someone had punched him in the stomach. As that's popped in the air over toward the seats and out of play. So only those of you who have had oblique strains can really understand what Romero's going through.
Is that the rib cage area?
I think it's just below, is it not, the rib cage?
Yeah, I asked him how he did that, and he said, you know, I just pitching. I just felt it one time after throwing. Spring training, they shut him down for 9 days.
Montañez slashes the ball to right field. And here's Rios playing the ball into second. Not in time to get the runner, and Montañez doubles. So Ray allows his 4th hit of the game.
Lots of speed shown by Montañez. That little inside out swing. He's actually beaten by the ball. Rios gets over there, cuts the ball off, and Montañez, once he hit first base, really showed a second gear to pick up that extra base hit.
Back comes Greg Zahn, 0 for 1. And now time called by Chavez. 5 years with the Blue Jays. He resurrected his career here in Toronto after signing with the team just prior to the 04 season. Timeout called again, and now Chavez goes out to speak to the rookie. In fact, Zahn started the 04 year down in AAA Syracuse. The only promise that was made to him was that if something happened at the big league level, he'd be the first to come up. And about 2 or 3 weeks into the season, Greg Myers blew out a knee, as I recall, in Minneapolis, and Zahn was up to stay. Takes a strike.
Baltimore is about the middle of the pack in runs scored in the American League. They've made the most of hitting with runners in scoring position. We've already seen it today with that 2-run double by Aubrey Huff. Coming into this game hitting over 300 as a team with runners in scoring position. It's their highest team average since 1974.
Wow, 74.
Hitting with runners in scoring position. Now, I know it's early, but they're making the most of their hits. 5th in the American League in average, 6th in run score.
1-1. Now a ball and 2 strikes on Zahn. Breaking ball down the left field line, and that's foul. One down and Montañez at second. A 3-3 ball game. 2 strikes on Zahn. Ray with a check of the runner, and he runs it inside and hits Zahn in the knee.
Hey, any way to help your team, right? Slider, he didn't try to get out of the way. The old take one for the team right there.
And now he has his first visit from Brad Arnsberg.
Slide piece. Sticks the leg out there. Got a foul ball off the inner thigh in last night's game. Now he gets one off the knee.
Let's bring in Sam Cosentino.
Well, Jamie, Brad Arnsberg makes his first visit to the mound, and surely the reminder is to stay on top of the ball. When I spoke to Arnsberg before the game, the one concern he had about Ray, recollecting back to spring training, which is the last time he saw him, was the fact that sometimes he gets underneath the ball, it'll flatten out and allow him to be up in the zone. So, Pat, from your vantage point, probably something you can see a little better here than on the immediate plane that I'm sitting at.
Yeah, you're certainly right. That last one, he got on the side of it, and you see that slider, he held onto it just a little bit too long, and that one just helicopter right into the knee of Greg Zahn. You want to stay on top of that one. You don't want to make it go side to side.
Shortstop Cesar Izturis looks at a strike. Orioles at first and second with 1 out. The rookie Robert Ray has given up 3 runs to this point on 4 Baltimore hits. Runs it inside. It's 0-2. Izturis, a one-time All-Star, a one-time Gold Glover, in fact, back in 2004 with the Dodgers. Spent all of last year with St. Louis. Here's the 2-strike pitch, and it's up for ball 1.
Hit that ball on the ground right here. It looks like he's going to throw a sinker. Elevated it a little bit too high. He's looking for something on the ground right here.
He tries again on Izturis, and it's hit in the air towards Snyder in left field. That's the second out. The number 9 hitter is retired, and the number 1 hitter, Brian Roberts, comes back to the plate.
You know, with Brian Roberts, you got to figure that he is due at any time because they've kept a lid on him so far through the first couple of games here. 6th in the American League, hitting with runners in scoring position, well over 400. That'll certainly help that team average.
He was 0 for 5 yesterday, 0 for 1 so far this day, and he takes a strike. A doubles machine, in fact. 230 of them for Roberts since the start of 04. 51 last year alone. Adams second in the American League.
He has the top 2 Baltimore Oriole seasons for doubles. You mentioned the 51 last year. A couple of years ago, he had 50 in one season. It's a whole lot of doubles, isn't it?
Flies that ball toward left field. Snyder was well back, and now he charges in, slides, and makes the catch. Oh, Travis. Hasn't he shown himself to be a pretty good defender today?
He has saved a couple of runs already with defensive plays. The first one with his arm, and this one with his glove on the blooper by Roberts.
And 14, the New Yorkers make their first visit. Here it's the first time in for Baltimore, first time in for any American League East opponent. The Blue Jays won the opener last night 8-4. Right now we're tied at 3 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Brad Bergeson facing the number 8 hitter Raul Chavez, who has a base hit and an RBI. Part of a 3-run second for the Blue Jays. 2 balls and a strike. We'd like to send a belated birthday wish out to Helen Wood, who recently turned 67. Helen's watching in Winnipeg. And also a belated 90th to Jean Duget of New Glasgow, Nova Scotia. 2-2 as we bring in Sam Cosentino again.
Jimmy, you look at Travis Snyder, and his on-deck routine is different than any other Blue Jay. He gets himself as close to the plate as possible and lines up in his stance and actually emulates the pitch as it's coming in. Most guys will sit there, swing a bat, kind of look onward, but Snyder treats his on-deck appearances like an at-bat.
Great point there, Sam. Here's the 2-2. Tap to Roberts, and Chavez is thrown out 4-3. Trying to pick up on the timing. Is that what he's doing?
That's all timing. And I have a good feeling about Travis Snyder this afternoon. I think he just missed the ball that he hit to the second baseman his first time up. That was a fielder's choice on a force out at second base. But I just like I just have a good feeling about him. Let's see what happens this afternoon.
Well, he and Adam Lind really started to carry the team in the early going. Snyder with a home run on opening day and that 12-5 victory over the Tigers. Had the 2 home run game in Minneapolis against Kevin Slowey, and Luis Ayala pops that one into shallow center field. 3 men converge and Jones takes it. So Snyder's gone and he's 0 for 2.
A lot of times young hitters, when they've gone through a little bit of a rough patch, they get a little bit anxious and they want to get out there and they want to succeed so bad that the timing is thrown off a little bit because they're trying so hard. A lot of times if you just kind of stay back just a little bit longer and really use your hands. Marco Scutaro does a good job about that. When he's kind of falling into a little bit of a slump, you watch him and how he works. He doesn't stride, he stays back, he uses his hands just a little bit more. Young guys, they want to get out there and they want to go attack the ball instead of letting the ball come to them. I think I see a little bit of that in what Travis Snyder's doing here.
1-1 on Marco Scutaro, who is 1 for 2. Rookie Brad Bergeson making just his 3rd big league start. Kicks and deals. It's right back to him. An easy walk to first, and he makes the play for a 1-2-3 4th inning. Balls from former Negro League stars collected and donated by Geddy Lee himself.
Wow.
Just a fabulous collection.
He is such a huge baseball fan.
Big time. He probably takes in 30 or 40 games here every year. Great to see Geddy Lee at the ballpark any day. Here's Adam Jones. And the men who hold high places shall be the ones who start to mold a new reality closer to the heart. That's Geddy Lee quoted from A Farewell to Kings, 1977. There you go. Oh, and 2 on Jones, a dangerous hitter. 2 hits today, a home run and a single. And you can see now why Jones was the centerpiece of the Eric Bedard deal.
Getting a little bit stronger, getting a little bit more familiar with the pitchers around the American League. Showed glimpses of it last year, but he had some leg problems and missed some time. But boy, what a start he has gotten off to this year, showing everything.
He hits it in the air to center field. Rios rolls into right center and takes it out of the air. So Jones is retired for the first time. Robert Ray is still looking for his first big league strikeout. He's had difficulty with the next man up. Nick Markakis has walked 2 times and scored once. Strike 1.
We talked a lot the last couple of games about the top of the order for the Baltimore Orioles. Roberts, Jones, and Markakis, #1 in the major leagues in batting average between the 3 of them. Up over 350. They actually lead the top 3 in RBIs, also coming into this game with 51.
Swing and a miss, and there it is. The first strikeout in Robert Ray's big league career.
And he got a pretty good hitter, too. One of the better hitters in the American League. Well, let's see what he goes with. A little cutter. Cut slider.
Mom is happy, so is his fiancee Lisa. Aubrey Huff, though, doubled in 2 last time up. Swung at the first pitch and hit one deep to center field. 0-1. Now 1 ball and 1 strike on Huff, who won the Silver Slugger Award at DH last year. That's the award given positionally to the most productive offensive players. 1 and 2, and when you win a Silver Slugger at DH,
yeah,
against guys like David Ortiz, who admittedly was hampered by injury last year, you're dealing with some pretty good ones.
Jim Thome.
Jim Thome
in Chicago.
One and 2, and he jams him. That's fouled back and out of play.
That was a good pitch right there. He's moving the ball around now against Huff, keeping it out of the middle of the plate. Huff really diving into the ball, so he's going to go in on his hands right there, and you see how he couldn't extend through it. Go back in there again. Why not?
1 and 2, and waved at and missed, but he gets a piece. He got Jones to fly out. He struck out Markakis. And now Ray zeroes in on a strikeout of Aubrey Huff. And he got it. Blows it right past him. And gets a 1-2-3 fifth against the heart of Baltimore's order. And so to the last of the innings. moist forehead that he's been working hard this afternoon in his big league debut. And so Brad Bergeson, his counterpart with Baltimore, also a rookie, works against Aaron Hill here to begin the last of the 5th inning. This is Jamie Campbell with Pat Tabler and Sam Cosentino. Two balls and no strikes on Hill, who's 0 for 2. And he slams it to center field, but it's playable for Jones. Alex Rios is 1 for 2 this afternoon. You commented last homestand about Rios and the fact that he was hitting off his back foot. Have you seen any improvements in that respect?
I've seen him try to make some adjustments to get off that backside. You know, all you have to do is watch his shoulders, and if the front shoulder goes higher than the back shoulder, then he's not getting off that backside, and he's just kind of falling backward. You'll see a lot of fly ball outs that way. Some of the adjustments that we've seen him try and make is put the bat on his shoulder and then lift it off and then go and attack. But you know, maybe that's just part of his game, and he, instead of hitting line drive home runs, he hits fly ball lofting home runs. But I think to make more consistent power in production, I think you got to level out that swing just a little bit more.
Well, his one and only home run this year was indeed a line drive shot off Kevin Millwood back on the 23rd of April. Three and two, one away. The payoff is hit toward right field, and there's Markakis, 2 gone.
Well, talking about power and talking about production, the next guy coming up, Vernon Wells, has done that against Baltimore. This is one of his favorite teams to face offensively. Already today, 2 for 2, a double, a single, and a run. In his career, he has had great numbers against Baltimore. 87 RBIs we've talked about, which is the most against any opponent, but he's also hit 26 home runs against Baltimore. Career batting average of .312 against the Orioles. The only team he's hit more home runs against in his career is the Boston Red Sox, and he's hit 27 against Boston.
And in the 2nd inning, Wells was credited with the double. He advanced to third on an error by right fielder Markakis. And so it's kind of an awkward way to get his 471st extra base hit, but that ties him for 2nd all time among Blue Jays with George Bell. So next in line would be Carlos Delgado, who had 690. As much as he got a double out of the play, it was really a single with some messy play by the outfielders. Bergeson fields the ball, throws out Wells, and gets a 1-2-3 fifth. So we've completed 5. Now it's still tied at 3. Robert Ray works into the 6th inning today at Rogers Center. And to this point, Cito Gaston must be pleased with what he's seen from the big right-hander from Lufkin, Texas. A 7th round draft pick by the Blue Jays out of Texas A&M back in 2005. 5 innings, he's given up 3 runs on 4 hits and is fresh from a 1-2-3-5 in which he picked up his first and second big league strikeouts. So he goes to work on Melvin Mora to begin the 6th. The Blue Jays rotation now features 3 rookies. As Mora drops down a bunt, Chavez throws to first and gets him by a step. Ray did well to get out of the way. And Mora's retired.
Well, it looked like that ball was going to be dead and right out in the no man's land between the catcher and the pitcher by Mora. Put some serious backspin on this ball. Watch it just kind of stop. But that play is the catcher's. His momentum is going out towards the infield. All he has to do is kind of catch it and kind of sidearm sling it over to first base. Nice play by Chavez to get the first out.
Back comes Luke Scott, who was 0 for 2. And he grounds to Scutaro. 1 pitch, 1 out, 2 in the inning, and Sam Cosentino is back with us.
Well, Jamie, going back to the bunted out by Melvin Mora, that's something we've seen him do in the past, especially if you have the third baseman playing back. And he can do it at just about any time in the game, even with runners on. I think that's something the Blue Jays are very well aware of in their advanced scouting reports.
And they played it beautifully.
And that advanced scouting report comes from that man right there, Brian Butterfield, who's got a nice little book of how to position your defense against every one of these hitters. Very detailed.
Anyone looking for insight into Brian Butterfield's passion for this game should just show up at about 5:30 or 6 in the morning when he seems to be here.
Do you know what time he told me he got here this morning? Now, they played last night, and it was a 3-hour game last night. So he probably got out of here around 11 o'clock. He told me he got here just before 6 o'clock this morning for today's game. And so by the time I saw him about 10 o'clock, he said he had about 14 cups of coffee. He was ready to go.
The only time you see Butterfield distracted from his job as the bench coach is on draft day in the National Football League. And that was, what, Saturday in Chicago, I believe it was. This ball in the air down the right field line. And out of play by about 2 rows. So we will see with interest how the rotation shapes up in the month of May. You'll see Brett Cecil make his big league debut on Tuesday here against Cleveland. They've got Brian Talent in the rotation for now, although Cito told us yesterday Talent doesn't mind whether he's starting or relieving. He's happy to be doing whatever is asked of him.
And he's done a nice job. He really has.
There's Jesse Carlson. Got a little roughed up in his last outing against Kansas City, but 2 good starts prior to that. 2-2. And Montañez fights it off. So here's Robert Ray in his big league debut. An out away from going 6 very workmanlike innings here.
Yeah, and just the 3 runs, 4 hits. The last couple of innings, looks like he's throwing with more of a purpose. You know, here's my idea. This is where I want to throw the ball, and I'm going to throw it there. Reaching back 90 miles an hour on that fastball.
In fact, if he gets 1 more out without giving up a run, this would qualify as a quality start. 88 pitches thrown for Ray. Three and 2. That's how you ruffle the feathers of a veteran. A former big league pitcher has mentioned quality start. They think, boy, in our day, quality was 8 or 9 innings.
Yeah, a little overrated.
3 and 2. Now 4 balls. He walks Montañez with 2 gone. There's Cito on the line to the bullpen.
4th base on balls for Robert Ray this afternoon. That one hurts because he was ahead 1-2 and he let him off the hook.
Out comes Cito. And he's going to the pen right now. Jesse Carlson is ready. And Robert Ray should be pleased with his big league debut. 5 2/3. He'll depart with the ball game tied. Gets a pat on the shoulder now from Marco Scutaro. Takes the ball from the manager and heads off. So far for Jesse.
Yeah, last pitch a couple of days ago on Kansas City, an inning, a hit, and a walk. Cito Gaston electing to turn around Greg Zaun, the switch hitting catcher for Baltimore. Zaun just 3 hits batting right-handed this year.
He swings at the first pitch and pops it into center field. Back goes Aaron Hill. Out goes Zaun. And the top of the 6th comes to an end. The Orioles strand a man. And Robert Ray has to be happy with his big league debut.
Sportsnet, brought to you by Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Robert Ray can relax now and speak with Scott Richmond. Here's his line on 90 pitches.
I guess the thing that I see, he can't get the win here because he got taken out. Blue Jays score 3 or 4 runs here. That would be Jesse Carlson because he got the last out there in the 6th inning. But a very good workmanlike game for Robert Ray. Just about 6 innings. He gave up the 3 runs, 4 base on balls, and a couple of big league strikeouts.
Can't get the win. Can't get the loss either. Scott Richmond, who starts tomorrow, sharing some comments with Ray as Brad Bergeson continues and faces Adam Lind here, the DH. Adam has driven in a run with a ground out, though he's 0 for 2. Last time up, hit into a 3, 6, and 3 double play.
And you know he is itching to do something now. That had big inning written all over it.
Yeah, it certainly did.
First 2 batters reached. So looking to do something here leading off the 6th.
Ball 4. A good start. Lind draws a walk.
How many times have you seen the leadoff walk come around to score? Good start here. Now Cito Gaston can do all kind of things. He can play hit and run if he wants to. He can sit back and see if Bautista can advance him. We've also seen Cito sacrifice in this situation.
And now Bautista's tired of waiting. He calls time.
Well, Bergeson was holding the ball that long to see if Bautista was going to tip his hand, if he was going to start to square around, or if the runner at first base might have flinched a little bit. So he just held on to the ball.
Swinging away, and he pops it up. There goes Bautista very quickly. So Lind is still stuck at first. Lyle Overbay now, who has walked, scored, and struck out. Tied at 3 into the last of the 6th inning. The Jays have gone to their relievers already. 2 for the Orioles are now up and throwing. Jamie Walker, the left-hander. Danny Baez, the right-hander. Strike 1 to Overbay. Let's get a word on the pitcher from Sam Cosentino.
Well, Jamie, a former scout for the Baltimore Orioles is Ed Sprague Sr., who actually signed Bergeson when he was the 4th pick in the 2004 draft. Ed Sr., of course, the father of Ed Jr., who played for the Blue Jays.
Torres touches the bag himself, gets the double play at first, and a quick 6th inning for Brad Bergeson. A 3-3 ball game here at Rogers Center. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Favorite Jay, Aaron Hill, based on 1 month of play, certainly deserves to be there. Cast your vote at bluejays.com. Vote early and vote often. I cast a ballot earlier today the old-fashioned way, punching them out.
Really?
But it's tough for people to do that at home if they're not here at the ballpark, so you can do it on the Blue Jays website.
Did you vote for Aaron?
Yes, I did. I'm a homer. I punched every Blue Jay on the ballot.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, how can you not vote for Aaron the way he is hitting the baseball?
Here's a one-time All-Star, Cesar Izturis. Ready to go now against Jesse Carlson.
This is his better side, if you will. Izturis is a switch hitter, hitting .470 from the right side. They had a heavy-hitting shortstop a couple of years ago, Miguel Tejada. A lot of power, and they're still searching for some power numbers from the shortstop position. They ranked 30th last year, which is last in major leagues in on-base plus slugging percentage out of their shortstop position, and that's not Izturis' game. He's a 260, 270 hitter. Spray the ball around, get productive outs. You have to, but he's not a big on-base plus slugging type of guy like Miguel Tejada was.
Base hit up the middle, though, and he's aboard here. And as we begin the 7th inning, just 1 home run in 135 games last year with St. Louis.
Well, the numbers don't lie. Hitting right-handed, now up over 500 on the season. Good start here in the 7th for the O's.
The number 9 hitter is on base, and the top 3 in the order for the Orioles this year have been devastating. A collective average of over 350, a .420 on base percentage for Roberts, Jones, and Markakis. So now is the time to buckle down for the Blue Jays bullpen.
Well, there is some action now in the pen, as you see. Cito Gaston gets the righty up and the lefty if he needs now to mix and match. Izturis not a threat to steal over at first base.
Roberts, the switch hitter, is turned around. There goes Izturis. Here's the throw from Chavez, and he's safe. Izturis swipes second.
I wonder if somebody missed a sign, because Izturis, again, he does have 5 steals, but he goes on the first movement by Carlson. Ball's way outside, but Chavez does a good job of just about nailing him. But you can see the high tag by Hill. He just can't get it down in time. And Izzy picks up his 5th stolen base. Gutsy call right there to send the runner in a tie game.
And the right call by Jerry Lane. You can clearly see he beat the tag. So with nobody out, he's into scoring position. And swing and a miss from Roberts. 1 and 2. The RBIs come from the guys at the top of the order here. There's really no weak side to Roberts as a switch hitter. Over 300 from both sides of the plate. And the 1-2 on the way.
Tough job now for Roberts, trying to move the runner up to third base. Really going to wait on that ball and try and punch it to the right side. A lot of times coaches will say, hey, when you get 2 strikes, you know, don't even try and do it. You're just battling, trying to survive, trying to get a base hit. That last swing by Brian Roberts showed that he's still trying to get it to the right side of the infield to move Izturis to third.
into right field. Here comes Rios at the line. And no movement from Asturias. That gifted right arm in right field keeps Cesar parked at second. Now the bullpen last year was lights out, and things have remained relatively the same. The names haven't changed much. Yes, Bill Murphy is there. Brian Wolf is up. And that was one of the things that Cito Gaston touched on at the end of spring training. When Jeremy Accardo did not make the team, he said, I'm going with the same 7 guys that finished last season and finished last season so strongly.
Finished strongly. The save percentage second in the major leagues, which was excellent. The inherited runners scoring was very good last year.
Carlson now deals with Jones, and the ball sneaks away from Chavez. Asturias picks up third on the play.
Yeah, some hesitation by Asturias at second base. Wasn't real sure how that ball was rolling on the carpet here at Rogers Center, so he kind of hesitated for a second. Watch him at the top of your screen. The ball is clearly away from Chavez. He doesn't go, and then he makes it easily after he realizes that the ball almost rolls onto the on-deck circle for Tirana. That's probably going to be a pass ball.
And now the infield is drawn in. Here's the 0-1 pitch. 1-1. A tight game here. 7th inning of play, tied at 3. Here are the Blue Jays trying to cut down the potential run. Jones a good hitter, though. He is red hot to start the year.
And, you know, I don't think that the Orioles are going to play the contact play. Even though Asturias can really run, I don't think they'll do the contact play here and run into an out unless he reads something, you know, that bounces high off the plate or something like that.
This is not deep at all, and Wells has to come in. No time for Asturias to think about tagging and coming home, and so Jones is retired, and they'll deal with Markakis with 2 gone. That's a big out.
Big out by Jesse Carlson. Jammed Adam Jones where he couldn't extend and get the ball deep enough into the outfield to score that run. But you're not out of the woods yet.
No.
Markakis is very good against left-handed pitching, and what he does against lefties is he really tries to shoot the ball the other way. Really likes to wait on left-handers. I'm sure he'll see a ton of breaking balls from Jesse Carlson, and he's been so good at just taking the ball and just flipping it out into left field.
So far, Markakis is 0 for 1. He's walked on 2 occasions, scored once, and struck out once. He comes into this with a 17-game hit streak. The infield back to normal depth here with 2 away.
He's another one who has done really well with runners in scoring position this year. 7th in the American League, up over 400, 429. Patient enough to take the walks when they give it to him. Dangerous enough that if you throw it in the strike zone, he can hurt you.
It's 2-0 on Markakis. Now 3-0. There's another left-hander on deck in Aubrey Huff. Asturias leading off third. 3-1 on Markakis. Now 3-2. It's run to a full count.
No room service fastball there from Jesse Carlson. 3-1. Throws him a breaking ball.
Let's see if Jesse can wiggle out of this. The potential go-ahead run here in the 7th inning stands at third base. 3-2 on Markakis. Pitch on the way, and he skies it toward left. Hit it well, in fact. That ball is caught by Travis Snider. A Gold Glove-like performance today against the Orioles for the left fielder. He's made 3 big defensive plays. Look at this one.
Probably have saved 3 runs. Times his jump perfectly. Takes away a hit and an RBI from Nick Markakis.
And so we go to the last of the 7th inning, still tied at 3. Game 2 of this 3-game set, tied at 3 into the bottom of the 7th inning. 2 rookies with a grand total of 2 major league starts coming in have provided the pitching. Chavez grounds out for the first out of this half of the inning, and now here's the situation. Markakis last time up. Misturis at third, 2 out, and whoop. Travis Snider, that's the 3rd impressive play defensively he's made this day.
Markakis tags the ball to left field, and one advantage for Travis Snider is being a left-handed batter. Markakis, that ball slicing back towards him, and he was able to run that ball down.
And he laces this one into the corner and out of play. Gave it a jolt, but it's strike 1. Danny Baez is the man on the mound now for Baltimore. He missed all of last year with reconstructive surgery on his right elbow.
He is throwing really hard since coming back from that Tommy John surgery. Signed by the Orioles to a 3-year contract in November of 2006. First win as an Oriole.
Here's a ground ball picked up by Roberts. Off balance throw gets Snider, and Travis is 0 for 3.
What Danny Baez was talking about, he says he finally feels healthy. Been training for a year and a half. Says it really helped him a lot. Been working on his mechanics. With the help from his bullpen coach and pitching coach, he's up over 90 miles an hour, 95 miles an hour with that fastball. Throws a splitter that's really hard also.
Scutaro breaks his bat, flares that one out toward right, and Roberts makes the over the shoulder and then flips it onto Markakis. Baez comes in, gets a clean 7th, and needs just 5 pitches to get it done. So it's off to the 8th, still tied at 3. 3 is key. Adam Jones with a home run and a single. He's scored twice. Markakis doesn't have a base hit, but he's scored once. And Aubrey Huff, who leads off this inning, has a 2-run double. And so Carlson stays in to face him in the 8th inning. And if Jesse can get a clean inning here, he'd leave the last 3 hitters for Baltimore to come up in the 9th inning. You do not want to see the 1, 2, and 3 if you can certainly prevent it.
Yeah, you don't want to turn over that lineup in the 9th inning. We'll see how Cito plays it. He's got Brandon League throwing in the bullpen.
2-1 on Huff, who's doubled to center field in the 3rd, scored 2, and there's League.
He's ready. He was throwing as the 7th inning was ending. So he's ready if Aubrey Huff gets on and he elects to match up the right-hander Lee against the right-handed hitting Melvin Moore.
Two-two pitch, and he sends it to center field for Wells. And now out comes Cito, and he goes to the bullpen. He'll bring in Brandon League, and Jesse Carlson pitches an effective 1 1/3 inning in relief of Robert Ray. Game scores live on your mobile phone by simply texting the word Jays to short code MLBGO. That's MLBGO or the number 65246. Standard message rates apply. Not a bad way to get scores and updates. Thanks to modern technology, Brandon League is the new hurler for the Blue Jays, taking over from Jesse Carlson.
He has really been good in the 11 games that he has pitched in. 9 of them have been scoreless. One of the things that he has worked on in this spring is throwing his slider for a few more strikes. He's got that overpowering fastball that he can get off that hitter's plate. And he's got a put away pitch in the splitter. So he spent this spring working on that slider a little bit more, throwing it for strikes, giving the hitter something else to think about.
1 ball and 1 strike on the batter, Mora. An 0 for 3 day for the third baseman. 3s on the board for each club, tied at 3. In the 8th inning, 1 down. And it's 2-1. In 12 innings of work, League has walked 5 men and struck out 9. Gives up a base hit here to Mora. He's on with 1 out.
You see that reaction from Melvin Mora. Fastball, he keeps his head down nicely. Melvin Mora picking up the base hit. Sure, he was struggling with the bat before that one. 3 for 10 with 3 RBIs in 3 games since coming back from the disabled is heading into this game. That's not too bad.
No. Ripped foul there by Luke Scott. Perhaps Melvin's just never been very successful against League.
1 for 5 before that at bat.
Well, when Brandon's on his game, when he's pitching effectively, he's tough to square up on, isn't he?
Yeah, trying to hit it solidly because you see he's got so much movement with his fastball. Got a good hard splitter.
That one dropped off the table, and it's 0-2. And what a difference in the break from his splitter to his two-seamer.
One goes straight down and one goes away from lefties. Strikeout pitch with the split. The ground ball double play with the sinker. Looking for it right here on the ground.
He's got Scott in an 0-2 hole, and he gets him there. Mora heading for second, slides in there safely, and I think he took a glove in the face too.
Split in the dirt. Chavez has to go all the way around Luke Scott, so he doesn't have anything on the ball. Let's watch Mora. Looked like a delay steal from Melvin Mora, or he just read the ball in the dirt. Good pick up by Chavez, but again, nothing on the throw because he had to throw it around Luke Scott.
And he gets scuffed by the glove of Scutero, and they're chuckling about it. So Scott strikes out on the play. Mora moves into scoring position. I'm not sure he's forgiven Scutero just yet, but surely he will. And Marco's still grinning.
Two down now. Anything in the infield, you've got to knock it down. Keep that runner from scoring.
Lou Montañez, the left fielder, 1 for 2. Oh, and a nice play by Chavez.
Really showing some good hands here. Slides out. Just block it any way you can. Keep that runner in front of you. One ran up his arm a little bit.
One for 7 with runners in scoring position. That's fouled back. 1-1 on the batter. The Orioles have left 6.
We were talking about that earlier, how well they have hit with runners in scoring position this year. Over 300 coming into this game as a team. Jays have done a good job to kind of slam that door shut.
And again, if League can get Montañez here, it leaves the 8 and 9 hitters coming up in the 9th inning, and Brian Roberts at the top of the order. Grounded to third, and this should do it as Bautista gets him at first. A stretch from Overbay, and Moore is left on base. Bottom of the 8th. Hill, Rios, and Wells coming to the plate for Toronto. They'll review game 1 between the Penguins and Capitals and set you up for game number 2 between the Blackhawks and Canucks, upcoming on Hockey Central at 6 Eastern. John Garrett will join them as well. Here at Rogers Center, tied at 3, bottom 8th, and Aaron Hill leading off for the Jays. Strike 1 from Danny Baez, the right-hander. Hill is 0 for 3. He rarely goes a game without a base hit this year. 1-1 is the count now. Baez in relief of Brad Bergeson, who went 6 innings and gave up 3 runs for the Orioles in his 3rd big league start.
Baez has been sensational for Dave Tremblay's team. Look at the depth of that split right there and how hard it was. That one registering 89 miles an hour. Pitched a couple of years ago out of the bullpen with 53 games, but did not win a game his first year after signing over here as a free agent. That ball's fouled down. And then sat out all of last year after Tommy John surgery. So when he threw 3 innings last Sunday, got his first big league win since July of 2006 when he was a Los Angeles Dodger. So his first win as an Oriole last Sunday.
2 strikes on Aaron, now 3. That's just a nasty, nasty pitch, and down goes Hill, who today is 0 for 4.
You just have a split second to determine what the pitch is and where it is, and watch how this one goes down. Split. Lots of strikeouts. Batters hitting just 143 off of Baez. This is his 8th game.
Breaking ball for strike one on Alex Rios, who is 1 for 3. Once a starter, Baez won 10 games, starting with the Indians in 2002. 3 years later, he was saving 41 for Tampa Bay, so he made that transition from starter to closer.
Dave Tremblay talks about him, saying that it's been nothing short of exceptional. Saying he's not a closer, but he's got closer stuff.
Esteuras with a backhand, the long throw. Don't get Rios. So Alex is on with his second hit. This the infield variety.
Well, he is a Gold Glover at shortstop, and you have to be a Gold Glover to make this play to get Rios. Far in the hole now. The throw's got to be almost perfect. But once Aubrey Hupp, the first baseman, realizes that that ball is tailing a little bit, he's got to come off the bag.
And our Fast Fact, presented by Rogers High-Speed Internet, the fastest and most reliable period, reminds us that Vernon Wells has 26 career home runs against Baltimore. A strike from Baez. Do you expect Mr. Rios will take off at some point?
Yeah, I think so. Because he's throwing so hard and he's got a good splitter. You got to think that at some point Rios is going to try and get himself into scoring position. Baez does a good job of getting rid of the ball quickly. Uses a little slide step.
He looks back, Alex. And now resets for Wells. 1 strike on Vernon. Fans get louder. This year, Vernon hitting .324 from the 7th inning on. That's a good time to lock in. Rios doesn't go. The pitch is down. It's 1-1. Baez is a Cuban defector. He left the Cuban national team while playing for them at the Pan American Games in Winnipeg in 1999. One and one, no go from Rios. 2 balls and a strike on Wells.
If they do give him the green light over at first base, that doesn't mean Vernon Wells has to take a pitch. He can score him from first base. Paying close attention to Rios.
18,000 plus. Well aware of the situation. Shot to third. And Mora goes across the diamond and just gets Vernon.
Melvin Mora sets himself quickly. It looked like he had a little trouble transfer from the glove to the hand. I don't know if he had the best grip. But he gets it over there just ahead of Vernon Wells for the second out. They're going to put Adam Lind on. They're not even going to give him a chance to swing the bat. 23 RBIs for Lind. Top 5 in the American League. First base is open. This is where you take your chance right here. Might get the wheels turning a little bit.
Jose Bautista is on deck. Unlike last year, the Blue Jays don't have most days a left-hander to go to on the bench. Today, nothing but a series of right-handers with McDonald, Barajas, Kevin Millar, and Scott Rowland. So Lynn takes the intentional pass, and Bautista bats with 2 on and 2 out. Bottom of the 8th inning. Runner in scoring position for the Blue Jays and 2 away. Baez opens with a strike. Bautista singled to right field and scored in the 2nd inning. He walked in the 3rd and flied out to center field in the 6th. He holds off. 2-1.
Right now you are just fighting to get yourself into a good hitter's count. He has now 2-1. When a guy throws so hard and he's got a good breaking ball like Baez, you want to see that number 1.
Here's the pitch, and that misses 2. 3 balls and a strike on Bautista, with left-hander Lyle Overbay on deck for Toronto. Runners at 1st and 2nd. And now 3-2. So there's Jamie Walker, who may well come in if Overbay gets a chance here. Situational lefty who pitched in the game last night. Runners can get a jump here on 3-2. Pitch is on the way, ball 4. Baez loses Bautista. And now we'll see what Dave Tremblay decides to do.
Well, Baez has been one of their best relievers. Just because a guy hits left-handed doesn't mean you bring in the left-hander. Looks like they want to tell Greg Zahn to go out there and talk to the pitcher so they can kind of think about it a little bit between themselves.
Give Walker a little more time to warm up.
Let them think about what they want to do here. My point being, the best reliever should be able to get out guys left-handed or right-handed. Shouldn't matter. And he has been their best reliever.
And now Tremblay has had a few more seconds to think about it, and he decides to go to Walker. So the skipper makes the long walk, and Walker comes out of the bullpen. Bases loaded for the Blue Jays in the 8th when we return on Rogers Sportsnet.
TD Canada Trust, putting you in the comfort zone.
Dave Tremblay goes to his lefty specialist Jamie Walker, but Cito Gaston counters by pinch hitting for Lyle Overbay. Kevin Millar comes off the bench, and he'll bat with the bases loaded. The only Blue Jay this year with a grand slam. Had 3 RBIs in the ball game last night on 2 hits. 2 gone in the inning, and that one almost crossed up Greg Zahn.
I think it did. Just good reactions by Zahn to catch that ball. Called for the heater, and it looked like Walker threw him a breaking ball. Watch the reaction from Zahn. Thinks it's a heater, and at the last second it's a breaking ball. Just to go out there and remind him what we're using, what sign we're using.
Looked like he was catching a knuckleballer for a sec. 1-1. Millar, as you saw, with 3 grand slams. His latest came April 16th in Minneapolis. 1-1 now. The appeal says Millar didn't go. 2 balls, 1 strike. The pressure is on Walker.
Yeah, he's got to come in with a strike here, and Millar knows it.
Rios, Lind, and Bautista are on base. 2-1. The pitch swung on and missed.
Really pulled the string on that one. 77 miles an hour. Had Millar way out in front.
Got him shaking his head.
Ball just doesn't get there. Now if he throws a fastball, it'll look like it's 95.
Breaking ball that misses. Here we go. A full count. $18,000 plus on their feet. 2 out, bases loaded, and the payoff. Drilled and foul. Looks like he got a little too far out in front of it.
Another change up. Just fouled off by Millar. What you want to do here is just look for the ball.
Millar sends it foul. And the play is almost made by Pat Tabler himself.
A little bit too short. This is another fastball too close for comfort for Kevin Millar. Fouls it off.
Try again, says Walker. Here they go. Runners go, and it's fly to right field. An easy play for Markakis, and the threat ends that way. Got the people into this one, though. We're through 8 innings in Toronto. finale, a 1 Eastern start, and it's Aaron Hill T-shirt giveaway day here at the ballpark. Presented by Nestle and 680 News. The first 5,000 kids under the age of 15 get Aaron's shirt. Greg Zahn leads off the 9th inning facing Brandon League. Tied at 3 at Rogers Center, and that's a foul ball. We haven't seen any scoring since the Orioles picked up 2 in the 3rd inning. Baltimore got on the board first thanks to Adam Jones' 1st inning home run against rookie Robert Ray. The Blue Jays came back with 3 in the 2nd, as the Blue Jays at that time picked up 4 hits, 1 a double by Vernon Wells. But Baltimore got 2 back in the 3rd, and the critical hit there, a 2-out double to center field by Aubrey Huff, tied the game at 3, and that's where we stand.
Each team has had opportunities since then to cash in some runs. Blue Jays had a couple of runners on to lead off the 3rd inning. They just left the bases loaded last inning. The Orioles same way. Had some runners on, some chances.
1 and 2, and Zahn just gets a piece there. Jesse Carlson went an inning and 2/3 in relief of Ray. Robert Ray, if you've just tuned in, made his major league debut and acquitted himself quite well. He went 5 2/3 and allowed just 3 earned runs. The 1-2 offering to Zahn swung on and missed.
Had Zahn way out in front on that one. Ronnie picked up his first multi-hit game in last night's game. Taking the collar though here. Look at that one, just dive right under the bat for a strikeout for Brandon Lee.
So back comes Cesar Izturis, the number 9 hitter, and he drills this ball to center field, and it bounces in front of Wells. Another base hit for Izturis. He singled in the 7th inning.
He led off that inning by singling, then he stole second, went to 3rd on a pass ball, and then the Jays left him stranded out there. Just kind of reaches out and just makes contact with that pitch.
And what that hit does is, barring a double play ball, of course, by Brian Roberts, who's very difficult to double up in the first place, would give Adam Jones a chance to hit here in the 9th inning. Here's Roberts now, the leadoff man. Jones is on deck with Markakis behind him. 1-0. Jones is 2 for 4. There's a ground ball. Hill plays the ball. No play to second. He gets Roberts instead.
Nice play there by Aaron Hill. The other players might have tried to make something happen there when there was really nothing there. Sometimes you cannot force the action. You see him kind of look very quickly to second base, thinking that they might have a shot of at Izturis. But you got to take the out right there. Make the easy play. 2 down now.
So Jones comes back, 2 for 4. The home run in the first, his 5th of the year. And once again, late in this ball game, Cesar Izturis is causing headaches for the Blue Jays. He finds himself in scoring position again. 1 ball, no strikes now to Jones. One of the reasons the Blue Jays are involved in a tie ball game is thanks to the defense of Travis Snider. In the 4th inning with 2 runners on, Snider came in on a looper to left by Brian Roberts and made a terrific sliding catch, and then took one away from Nick Markakis with Esteuris standing at 3rd base and 2 out in the 7th.
How about the throw he made to 3rd base when Jones hit that ball down the left field line?
Absolutely.
Brian Roberts had just walked. Jones ripped the ball down the left field line that was cut off by Snider, and he got Roberts at 3rd base. Would have been 2nd and 3rd, just 1 out. Nick Markakis and Huff up. But he got him at 3rd base. That saved the run.
2 strikes on Jones. Here comes Brandon, and he got him punched out. Jones has no recourse for that pitch. Lead gets. Defense has really kept the Blue Jays in this ball game. Here was the play in the 3rd when he tries to get Roberts and does so successfully, coming in quickly on the blooper by Roberts, and then this with a man at 3rd and 2 out, leaps and takes one away from Nick Markakis. 3 gems by Snider today.
The only thing that will cap it now will be a walk-off home run.
Well,
to win it.
He'll get a shot. And if he gets it, it will come against a new pitcher, Jim Johnson, a big right-hander. Comes in to face Raul Chavez in the bottom of the 9th. And Chavez drops a bunt. Oh, and it's fumbled by Johnson. A gift right there.
Remember Melvin Mora earlier in the game? Had the same exact kind of bunt where he had that backspin on it. And the catcher, Chavez, came out and made the play. Same thing might have happened there. That ball really backed up on Jim Johnson when he bunted. Johnny Mack comes in to pinch run for Chavez. Watch how this ball backs up. Gets underneath it, puts some serious backspin on it. And he has to kind of double clutch, and by then he doesn't get it into the glove.
The Blue Jays capitalized on the error to Markakis in the 2nd inning. Travis Snider on the ground. Taylor made for a double play, and it's a 4-6-3. That'll kill the momentum right there.
You can't hit it any more perfect than right at Brian Roberts. His momentum takes him to Esteuris. And just like that, 2 down.
Marcos Scutaro approaches the plate. Johnson had himself a breakout year last season in 54 games. Posted a 2.23 ERA. 68 innings of work. He did not give up a home run. He has allowed one this year in 9 innings of work.
Big funky delivery, arm action, power reliever. Can run and sink that fastball, get it up there about 94 miles an hour.
He was a 5th round pick by the Orioles back in '01 from a high school in Endicott, New York. Here's the 2-1 offering to Scutaro, and he lifts it to left field. Diving catch made by Montañez. And this game goes extra innings. 9 complete in Toronto. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. The final game of this series pits Jeremy Guthrie, a right-hander for Baltimore, against Scott Richmond, a surprising 3-0 with a 2.70 ERA to begin the year. And then Sunday Night Baseball comes from Arlington, Texas. The White Sox and Rangers. Lefty John Danks for Chicago. Matt Harrison goes for Texas. Scott Downs pitched last night. A non-save situation there. Similar situation presents itself here. Tied at 3 entering the 10th inning. Nick Markakis, the first batter. The Blue Jays this year have gone to extra innings 3 times, and they are 2-1. There's a ground ball, backhanded and dropped by Hill. He's still got time, but can't make the play. So now Baltimore benefits.
We'll see how they score this one. It just hits the heel of the glove for Hill. Looks like they scored that an error on the second baseman. Leadoff batter on here for Baltimore.
The Jays could not take advantage of Johnson's error in the bottom of the 9th here in the top of the 10th inning. Man on, nobody out. And Aubrey Huff comes to the plate. He looks at strike 1.
One of the things bringing in the left-handed reliever, number one, facing left-handed batters in Markakis and Huff, but if they do get on base, freezes the runner a little bit at first.
And there's a base hit to right. Markakis stops at second. So Huff gets it done here. First and second Baltimore, nobody out in the 10th.
Perfectly placed with Millar having to hold the runner on Markakis. Just out of the reach of Hill, squirts it through on the right side. You saw Markakis kind of have to dance to get out of the way of that ball, so he can't move up. Now the wheels are going to be turning. Melvin Mora does not have a sacrifice bunt this year. The infield, the corners are playing in, anticipating Mora trying to drop this bunt down. You see him looking around right there, how the defense is playing him. Millar is going to be charging hard from first base. Batista, the way he's set up at third base, looks like he's going to read it off the bat. If there is a bunt.
He squares and bunts it foul. Mora tried to drop a bunt down in the 6th inning and was darn near successful, but for a good play by Chavez to throw him out at first inning. Or excuse me, at first base, as Ty Wigginton's in the on-deck circle. In comes Millar. Mora's swinging away. It's 0-2.
And he's staring down Kevin Millar also. He saw him out of the corner of his eye that he was charging. He looked like he was about 45 feet from Melvin Mora. That ball was away from Mora, and it looked like he was trying to punch it right down the throat of Kevin Millar at first. Watch how far he comes in. You don't think this is defensive right here when that guy swings away like that? Look how close he is.
And now Mora's in the 0-2 hole. Downs is in a tough spot here. First and second. No one out. Veteran Mora at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And Barajas keeps it in front.
Breaking ball. Barajas just into the game, slides over quickly and just keeps that ball in front of him. You are not necessarily trying to catch that ball, but just smother it. Just smother it and keep it in front of you. Knock it down so those runners don't move up.
The 2-2. Fly to right field, backing up Rios. Markakis tags. And he's in safely. So Mora is out, but Markakis gets into third base safely, and he's 90 feet away from giving Baltimore a lead.
See high fives all around for Mora. He gets one of the runners around. It's Markakis into third base. Huff wisely stays at first base. That'll open up a hole on the right side. And Ty Wigginton will pinch hit. The Orioles do not have a pinch hit this year. They are 0 for 11.
And Wigginton has struggled in his first year. 207. A home run, 8 RBIs. Ball 1 from Downs. Wigginton comes over from Houston on a 2-year deal. First and third Baltimore. And 2-0 on Wigginton. Two home runs as a pinch hitter, a .263 average. He goes. It's 2-1.
Not a good attempt on a 2-0 pitch right there. You are locked in on a fastball. If you don't get it, just let it go. You don't want to be defensive when you're pinch hitting. You want to get up there and be aggressive. Get your hacks in.
Now it's 3-1. Lou Montañez on deck for Baltimore. Markakis over at third. Aubrey Huff at first. Downs the pitch. The runner goes. It's grounded to Scudero. He comes home. And Markakis slides in safely.
You know what? Not a bad idea by Marco Scudero. He knows that the runner is taking off, so they can't turn two. He's already in double play depth at shortstop, so he's got to take a chance here. This is the go-ahead run. I think if the throw was down just a little bit more, where Barajas doesn't have to reach for the ball and expose himself, I think they have a shot at Markakis at the plate. But because the throw was a little high, Barajas has got to reach for it. And that allows Markakis to kick his feet out and score the go-ahead run.
Felix P.A. now is the pinch runner for Wigginton. And so when Scudero caught Huff breaking from first place, that sort of kick-started his decision to come home.
Sure. And there's nothing wrong with being aggressive like that. I mean, you're thinking, you're in the game. Again, if he makes a good throw, a low throw, and it had to be perfect, I think they have a shot at getting Markakis. They weren't going to turn a double play.
Strike one on Montañez. Baltimore in the lead now at 4-3. That's the first run we've seen since the third inning. PA now the runner at first. And Huff stands at second. 0-2 on Montañez. Kind of a half swing there, and he falls behind Downs.
Now that fastball has got a lot of movement on it, away from right-hander. That one totally fooled Montañez.
There goes Montañez. And that's out number 2.
Just threw a fastball right by him. Right down the middle.
And now that the Orioles have taken a 1-run lead, their closer, George Sherrill, begins his work in the bullpen. Greg Zahn, with 2 away, first and second, looks at strike one. Due for the Jays in the bottom of the 10th inning, Aaron Hill, Alex Rios, and Vernon Wells. They'll be dealing with an all-star. Strike 2 on Zani. Misses 1 and 2. Here's the pitch, down and in. 2-2.
He just doesn't fish for bad pitches, does he?
No, he never did.
He always sees a lot of pitches per at bat, really works that count. He is at an advantage of being a switch hitter, where that breaking ball is always breaking into him. But he always sees a lot of pitches per plate appearance.
He goes. Strike three. Zahn's gone, but the Orioles take advantage of Aaron Hill's fielding error and have a 1-run lead as we head for Indians. Note the start time, 12:37 first pitch. It's the Blue Jays School Day presented by Teletoon. The first 10,000 kids 14 and under get a Blue Jays school pack. BlueJays.com/groups has more information on coming down in large bunches. Cecil today watched the debut of Robert Ray. And now the Blue Jays try and do some damage against the closer for Baltimore. And there's George Sherrill in his second year with the Orioles.
4 for 5 in save opportunities this year. The opponent's batting average a little high at .317. ERA also at 4.66. He's kind of a short arm type of reliever. Got that short arm crossfire sneaky delivery. He ride that fastball at 88, 91 miles an hour. Got a little bit of a slurvy slider. Everything is really hard. So gear up here if you're the hitter.
First man up is Aaron Hill. Hill to this point 0 for 4. He's grounded out twice, flied out once, and struck out. And he drills the ball to left field. Aaron has tagged this one, and we got a tie ball game.
You're sitting on something hard, and Sherrill comes in right into the sweet spot. Fastball down and in. Home run number 6 for Aaron Hill, and that surely makes up for the gap in the top of the inning. Sherrill has now given up 3 home runs. It is 9 2/3 this year.
It was Hill's error that undermined the performance of Scott Downs in the top of the inning. He allowed Markakis to get on. First man up in the inning. Markakis eventually came around to score the go-ahead run, and Aaron gets it right back with that sock to left. The Blue Jays with 8 come from behind victories this year. And 3 walk-off wins. 2 strikes now on Alex Rios.
3-1 and walk-off wins. Extra innings. They haven't lost here at home. They're 2-0. Got a good chance here with the middle of the lineup coming up.
There goes Rios. Not a good at bat for Alex as we go downstairs to Sam Cosentino.
Well, Jamie, it was interesting that coming into this inning with a 4-3 lead, the Orioles 0-10 when scoring fewer than 5 runs. The situation that presented itself here in the bottom half of the 10th.
Certainly did. Statistics tell an interesting story there. And now we're deadlocked at 4. Sherrill blows his second save opportunity this year. Vernon Wells with 26 career home runs against the Orioles, and he slashes that one to right field. Markakis comes over, and that's out number 2. So Adam Lind will give it a try. Lind is without a base hit in the ball game. He swings over the top of that. 0-1. Adams' 23rd RBI came on a ground out to second back in the second inning. Same pitch, same result.
Same result. That's right. He is a strikeout pitcher, George Sherrill. Got good stuff, good breaking ball, good hard fastball. Just threw it right into the wheelhouse of Aaron Hill.
Timeout for Sherrill to tie his shoe. What an interesting game. The battle of the bullpens was quite a good one. We didn't see a run from the 3rd inning until this, the 10th. Each team has one in the extra frame. It's 2-2 on Lynn, and that ball's headed for center field. Lynn with a 2-out base hit.
And each team has scored off the other team closer. Scott Downs giving up a run in the top of the inning. George Sherrill giving it right back in the bottom of the inning. And the Jays aren't done.
Although the run that Downs gave up was unearned because of the error by Hill. Seems he was looking for a breaking ball all along, and he got one there. Jose Bautista now.
Look at Melvin Moore, the third baseman. Almost directly on the line. He wants nothing to go down that line and into the corner and end this ballgame. The outfield is playing a little bit deeper than normal. Look at Melvin Moore.
No doubles defense. And a strike. Sherrill is quite a story. Here's a man who spent 5 years in independent baseball, 2 of them with Winnipeg, before signing with Seattle in 2003. 1-1. He saved 31 games in his first year with Baltimore last year, pitched 2 1/3 scoreless innings in the All-Star game. He's come a long way. The 1-1 pitch. And that's low. So it's 2-1 on Bautista.
Another one of those good players that Baltimore got in that Eric Bedard trade.
That's really starting to pay off, that deal for Baltimore. There's Bautista now looking at 3-1.
He's got good control, just 2 base on balls this year. So now Maltusta can really zero in on one pitch right here. He's thinking about extra bases right now.
He walks him. And the last time we saw a walk-off victory for the Blue Jays, the man coming to the plate was the hero. There's Kevin Millar. Back on the 22nd of April, he came into the game to face Darren O'Day, a right-handed side armor who was so new to the Texas Rangers, he was wearing Kason Gabbard's jersey. Millar with a chance here, 2 gone, and it's ball 1. Millar in his career with 7 walk-off hits. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that's well off the plate. 2-0.
Good throwing arms in the outfield in Jones and Marquez and Montañez. Millar 0 for 1 in his career versus George Sherrill. I think the important guy right here, Adam Lind at second base, has got to get a good aggressive lead and make his secondary lead very aggressive. That's a lead where, as Sherrill starts to go towards home plate, you bounce off there as far as you can. The infielders are not paying any attention to him because they have to play deep to try and knock a ball down. There's Brian Roberts, the outfield portion behind second base. So get a good aggressive secondary lead.
This ball hit in the air to left field, and Montañez settles under it. He makes the play. The side is retired, but Aaron Hill ensures the game continues with his 6th home run. Blue Jays this year. To a degree, he was a forgotten man last year, came in non-critical situations, but he has posted a tremendous start to the year. Just look at the numbers.
Great numbers. 3-0, just 1 base on balls. He is really attacking the strike zone. Got 3 pitches now that he throws over at any time, and as a hitter, you don't know what to look for.
And we've kind of hung the label of vulture on Jason this year because
that's good. That's a good thing. Yeah, everybody needs one of those.
He's been the winner of the last 2 extra inning victories by the Jays. And you can't be a vulture unless you pitch effectively, and he has. So at the bottom of the order is Cesar Izturis, 2 for 4. And the Orioles see Frazier for the first time this year, and a new look Jason Frazier it is. Has the good fastball and slider from last season and has added an effective changeup this year. Gets a strike on Izturis, 1-1. Frazier's third victory came April 22nd here against Texas. He went 2 innings, set down all 6 Rangers. Kevin Millar helped him out with the walk-off in the 11th inning.
He generates so much torque for that fastball. That one 92 miles an hour, and on top of that, he throws it in a good spot against Izturis.
There's the 1-2, and that's down in the dirt. Izturis got himself into scoring position in the 7th and the 9th inning, but was unable to cash in. What a crazy 10th inning with both teams scoring, one by way of an error, the other by way of the long ball. Popped him up, and Barajas has room.
You mentioned Izturis getting on a couple of times. No chance this time. Rod gets over there, makes it look easy.
And now Brian Roberts comes back. He's a collective 0 for 9 in this series. And Travis Snyder has done Roberts a tremendous disservice today. After Roberts walked in the 3rd inning, tried to go first to third on a base hit by Adam Jones, and Snyder threw him out at third base. And then Snyder, an inning later, robbed him of a blooper into left field, making a sliding catch.
That would have been an RBI for sure. There were a couple of runners on, first and second. When he blooped that ball down the left field line, Snyder came a long way to end the inning.
Two and one. And the ball is drilled to center field. Vernon Wells got a great jump, and he catches up to it.
Boy, he certainly did get a great jump. Playing Brian Roberts pretty much straight away at center field. And we've talked about the extra base hits that Roberts has had in his career. But Wells goes back and makes him look easy. The whole key to that play, Jamie, was he got a great jump on the ball.
He was off and running right from the crack of the bat. And so with 2 away, Adam Jones steps in again. Jones started well, a home run and a single in the 1st and 3rd, and has since gone 0 for 3, flying out twice and striking out once. Base hit up the middle, and he's on.
Well, true to form, he came into this game as a 500 hitter in day games. He's put together a 3 for 6 now. He'll stay right there.
And here's a man, Markakis, who 2 seasons ago managed well over 100 RBIs. And the way things are going for Adam Jones ahead of him in the order, he's bound to get 100 again this year.
And Roberts and some of the other guys that hit in front of Nick Markakis. A steal threat at first base, Adam Jones. Couple stolen bases this year. Has yet to be thrown out.
These two are in the same division, and yet Markakis has only faced Frazier 3 times previously. That might speak more to the lack of important innings that Frazier has received in the last few years.
Or when it's Markakis' time to come up, managers have used left-handers.
Sure.
You know, in tough situations, that bring in the lefty to face the lefty, and then he's out.
Jones with a foot on the carpet, and he's gone. The throw is on the wrong side of the bag, so he steals on Frazier.
Boy, you could just tell that he was going to go. Got out there aggressively. You can see him leaning on that right leg, and really no chance for Barajas to throw him out. He's got too much speed. Third stolen base now for Jones. Now, what does that do for the Blue Jays pitching to Nick Markakis? Do you take the bat out of his hand, work around him, but then you got to deal with Aubrey Huff?
To left field. Snyder backtracks. Out number 3. Markakis has retired on the fly ball. The Orioles get nothing in their half of the 11th. We'll see what the Blue Jays can do next. And Brian Bass becomes the 6th pitcher used by the Orioles in this afternoon's ball game, and his numbers don't look very good.
Yeah, they don't, but he's trying to tweak his mechanics a little bit. He had a game where he gave up 7 runs. That's why that ERA is so high. So we went back and watched some film from 2008 with pitching coach Rick Kranitz, and they discovered a couple of things that were different. Felt like he was opening his shoulder up a little bit too quickly, flying open, and that was taking away his sinker. One other thing that Kranitz has worked with Bass is he's setting his hands a little bit higher when he comes to that set position. Feels like it's a little bit more comfortable for Bass. You see him right about shoulder width. Sinker slider type of pitcher. 3 2/3 scoreless innings last Saturday, so the results have been pretty good for him.
Here's Barajas making his first plate appearance of the afternoon. 1 ball and no strikes, and now he runs it in for strike 1. Raul Chavez started this game. He then reached on an error in the 9th inning and was replaced by pinch runner John McDonald. Barajas takes over from here as we start the bottom of the 11th inning. 2 balls and a strike from Bass, who's 27 years of age and comes from Pinehurst, North Carolina. He'd been in the minors 9 years before making his big league debut last April 1st with the Minnesota Twins. 2-2. It's been a steady diet of sinker balls to this point. And that one's hit to right field. A base hit Barajas. Bass in 17 innings this year has given up 23 hits.
And 5 of them home runs. This sinker sinks right back out over the middle of the plate, and Barajas rips it into right field. He is hot. Stay hot. Leadoff single.
So here now a chance for Snyder, who in the bottom of the 9th inning came up with McDonald at first base thanks to an error by the pitcher Johnson, and promptly grounded into a 4-6-3 double play. We've seen him drop down a bunt a couple of times this year.
Yeah, he's done it twice.
And then once successfully for a base hit in the Kansas City series. He squares immediately and pops it up. And they don't get the second out at first base.
Do you know what Brian Bass could have done right there is let that ball drop?
Yes.
And they had a good chance at getting a double play. I mean, a tailor-made pop-up on the sacrifice right to him, and it didn't look like Travis got out of the box. Let's see. Sinker popped up, and he just kind of sits there. Now, if Bass lets that ball drop,
double play.
He can go around the horn right there and make a double play. Got to run everything.
Boy, to be able to make that decision, to do that in a split second, that would be something else.
Yeah, well, you've got to be around and kind of anticipate that before it happens.
Sure. So there's one away, and now Scudero drops one down, taken quickly by Bass, and he makes it to first base. He practically bowled that ball over there, and somehow, some way, thanks to the stretch of Huff, gets the runner.
Yeah, great play on both ends. First by Bass to get over there, and really his only play was to barehand it, and in one motion, kind of like an infielder, just kind of sidearm it over there, and then Huff with the right foot on the bag, digging it out of the dirt. Good idea by Scudero. It looked for a second like he had it. Look at that play by Bass. Dug out nicely by Huff to record the out.
So oftentimes, Pat, you see plays like that where the ball gets past the first baseman.
Game over.
Rolls into right field. Game over indeed. Now Barajas moves up to second. Aaron Hill is the batter, and he singles to center field. Here comes Barajas, a good arm for Jones, and that's the ball game. Aaron Hill, the hero, in a walk-off win against the Orioles.
This is Aaron Hill's game. He ties it with a home run in the 10th inning. Wins it in the 11th inning with a walk-off single.
His last walk-off came in a victory over these Orioles. A sac fly in 07 against Chad Bradford. And he's walked off a victory here for the Blue Jays. Boy, Zito just wants to give him a hug. It was Hill's error in the top of the 10th that gave the Orioles an extra inning lead. But look at this.
How he stays back on the ball, stays on it. And really no chance for Adam Jones as he's got to go to his left. He's got to turn all the way around and make the throw. Barajas with 2 outs is running on the crack of the bat, and he scores easily. 2 outs, and here he comes. Here comes the game winner.
Leyva says, let's give it a shot. Barajas motors home. Game over. As the Blue Jays win another in walk-off style, an 11th inning, 5-4 victory. One they trailed by a run going into the bottom of the 10th. It was Hill who gave a run to the Orioles, Hill who took one back with his home run, and Hill who wins it as we go downstairs to Sam Cosentino.
Well, Jamie, I'm with the man of the hour. And what an up-and-down game. That error to start off the 10th. Then you homer to tie it up in the bottom half and win it here in the 11th inning. How are you feeling right now after all that?
It's great. Obviously, I think it's something we've been doing all year is coming back on some teams, and that's something that we haven't done in the past. So it's great to see the guys get on base and being effective and scoring some runs.
What do you think has allowed this team to be able to be so resilient, to be able to come back in games where it hasn't happened maybe before?
Just sticking with the routine. I think guys aren't trying to do too much. You're not trying to go up there and hit a homer. You're just trying to get on base and do the little things. And we are right now, and we're just going to keep rolling with it.
Bullpen with an unbelievable job. But let's talk about the starting pitcher, Robert Ray, in his major league debut, who had only pitched twice coming into this game.
I'll tell you what, he did a great job. He really looked comfortable. He was pounding the strike zone, which was nice. I mean, they hit him a little bit, but they're a good swinging ball club. So, I think he did a great job. We're glad to have him and look forward to his next start.
All right, Aaron, thanks for your time.
All right, thanks.
Aaron Hill, emphatic. And how about Jason Frazier? The Vulture gets another win. He's 4-0. For Pat Tabler, Sam Cosentino, and Scott Carson, I'm Jamie Campbell. Good afternoon.